Hey, what is going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Mash and Drum Whiskey Room on a very special Whiskey Wednesday night, kind of a turkey night, if you think about it. I know we just got past the holidays. Thanksgiving's over, but it's time for some more turkey. That's right. Been getting a lot of requests to do kind of this deep dive on Russell's Reserve and exploring some of the different warehouses and the different flavors that they offer. Again, these are all single barrels, so they're obviously going to, vary in flavor profiles. However, I want to see if there was any common denominators that we could find throughout each of the different warehouses. Maybe find out which is ultimately maybe my favorite warehouse. Tonight, I can't say that I've obviously tasted every single warehouse. There's a lot of different warehouses I have never had picks from, but we'll go through. We'll take a kind of a quick history dive into Wild Turkey a little bit, just as a refresher. I always like to refresh myself because there's always so much going on. I like to keep up with my history, and Wild Turkey has one of the most richest histories in bourbon. There's just a lot of moving parts, a lot of different people. The Rippies, Austin Nichols, everything that went into it. The Russells, obviously. So we'll kind of do that a little bit. Then we'll take kind of a deep dive into the different warehouses, the locations, how they play into the different pieces of the flavor profiles here. And we have a lot of barrels we're going to try tonight. So it's going to be a lot of fun. So break out your favorite turkey bottle. And here we go. Let me say hi to everybody here. What is going on? Let's see. Who do we got here first? Oh, excuse me. We have Mr. EJ's in the house. Aloha and cheers. Actually, one quick thing here. I just want to make sure that this is up and running. Is that the new one? Yep, 131.24. Where did January go? Honestly, where did it go? I don't know where it went. January, honestly, just really flew by. Just kind of crazy. It's just one of those things where, I don't know, man. It's like you just get through the holidays, and then already a month of 2024 is gone already. I don't know. Time is just flying, man. It's a scary thing. EJ is here. Oh, EJ here. EJ's here, and MJ. Hope Lily is there with you guys. Say hi. Give her a nice belly rub for me. Lily is a dog, by the way, in case anybody, gets a little scared that I'm asking to give something a belly rub. Just letting you know now. 4-Leaf Whiskey is here. What is going on? Nice to see you, Stacy. Let's see. Rob D is here. Shredward is here. Russell's Daily. Roscoe P. Coltrane in the house. Warren Smith. Can't get enough of the Russell's picks. Joey B. That's me. Russ L is here. Let's see. Ryan Swihart, Jason's Dream live stream right here. That's right. He's got a Russell Reserve store pick from my local Bevmo. That's right. Ken Zimmerman is here. Andrew Bergstrom. Breaking out of Russell's single barrel tonight that is like PB&J in the glass. I've had a pick that tasted like that once before. I can't remember. Andrew, can you let me know what warehouse that's from? I want to see if it sparks a memory for me. Let me know. Sandeep Chima is here. Executive producer Todd. Gobble, gobble, gobble. Thank you so much. Justin Jenkins is here. Brandon W. KCD. We have Sandeep Chima is here. Slapshots Roadhouse is in the house. Sahaya Sky. Bourbon's Your Friend is here. Lionel G is in the house. Jeff Perkins. William Wiley, what's going on? Michael Speakerman, gobble, gobble. Abe Rod's in the house. Showing up, Marie D is here. Nice to see you. John T is here. Let's see. Chris Buzalencia, Carlos Garcia, Ben Chrisman, 96 Milliman, Whiskey Juice. Let's see. Daryl Pessler's here. Chase Johansson's here, sipping on some A124. Going to switch to Cream of Kentucky 12.3 to kick things off. Oh, happy birthday, Chase. Happy birthday, buddy. Cheers. Everybody give Chase a cheers for his birthday. And anyone else whose birthday I may have missed in this week. Cheers. Very nice. Joe Kirk, the GOAT of bourbon. I don't know if you're talking to me, but if you are, appreciate it. Dr. Sped, let's see. Realized it was a turkey night. Ken Zimmerman warming up with McKenna 10 with a few Russells waiting in the wings. Love it. Ham Turkey's here. What's up, Adam Hinson? I'm sipping on lavender. I'm guessing that you meant to type chai. Was in chai tea. Eric Sawyer, my blend is just sitting there getting all cohesive and ready for the finals. Yeah, I'll give you guys kind of an update on the finals for Blendegeddon. Cool Running and Lance is here. and I just need to catch up because I think I saw Rarebird 101 here, Martell, and John Hovnick is here. What's going on, man? First live stream for Sea Sky here, and let's see, sipping on Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit now. Haven't picked up a Russell Reserve yet, so looking forward to learning more. Yeah, I'll say, and I'll kind of talk about this a little bit. I'll kind of make that argument on how I do think Russell's Reserve has been not only the most consistent, but probably the best single barrel program that we've seen from some of the big distillers. Just the amount of variation you get, the price, the ages, it's just such great values. But we'll get into that a little bit, and I think I do see some mirroring between what Russell's Reserve has been doing for years versus what we're starting to see Elijah Craig Barrel Proof do now. So I'm just kind of really excited. So yeah, we'll see how it works. Just watch your smooth AMLO review, sipping on the bourbon now. Starting off with Wild Turkey 101, then Russell's Reserve 10, and then single barrel. So I'm starting the night with just a regular Russell's Reserve single barrel. This is the new label, and this is what we see in the store now. And I gotta tell you, I don't, unfortunately, we don't know what brick houses these are from. I'm sure if we, maybe ask Bruce Russell or someone, they could probably tell us where maybe a majority of them are coming from. But we don't get that information on the standard Russell's Reserve single barrel releases that are available on the shelf. But I got to tell you, these newer labels with the gold text they've been delicious. Probably some of the better available Russell single barrels that have been sitting on the shelf in a long time. They are absolutely just killing it. Russell, Four Roses. Yeah, I would definitely put Four Roses up there too. Hey, James Lay, what's going on, man? Nice to see you, buddy. Ron Miles, big day tomorrow. Green River Rye, Lawrence. So glad you're loving that bottle, Jason. Cheers, brother. Ron, yeah, I mean, you and the folks, Bardstown Bourbon Company, Green River, absolutely love that rye whiskey. I'm going to probably try that. I haven't gotten a chance, Ron, yet to try that rye in cocktails, but even just sipping it straight. Guys, if nobody has seen my Green River rye review, $35 for a rye whiskey. I mean, why not? It's pretty delicious for the price. It's really, really good. Michael S is here. What's going on? The smaller stores around me don't get picks. They always say the big corporate brands get them. The big corporate brands get them? I don't know if I'd say that. A lot of groups get them. Hey, Sunny eating Scotch. What's going on, man? Welcome back home. Are you back from Florida yet, dude? Lavender chamomile. There you go. The only bummer with Russell's picks in Kentucky has been the price increases. Ouch. Yeah, Robert, I totally agree with that, but I still think for what you get, it's still, a good value. I know people. So here's the thing. So I reviewed Elijah Craig Barrel Proof A124 and kind of had my thoughts on it. And man, a couple of people in the chat, really got into it as far as, they just don't think it's as good as a value as it is anymore all of a sudden. And that, I'm not going to say it shocked me, but I think for that bottle, it shocked me a little bit because I don't know. I still think for what you're getting, it's still a night like this one. The A124 is what, 10 years, 9 months old, something like that. I mean, it's just under 11 years. It's still, $70-$75. How is that, not a good value? I don't know. It was an interesting conversation. They kind of talked about how Elijah Craig Barrel Proof needs to kind of get into the lineage and the, pay homage to the brand, the quality, and what it's meant over the course of the years. And Heaven Hill should, honor that with each and every release. And while the nerd in me can definitely appreciate that mindset, I just don't think that's sustainable with the way the market is, unfortunately, with price increases and stuff like that. I think you could try your best to do it. And who knows? You guys got to remember back in history, Elijah Craig, remember when Elijah Craig had a 12-year age statement? They removed that and people went bananas when that was removed. And then eventually, as time went on, it just became, it was what it was, or it is what it is today. Now, Elijah Craig Barrel Proof, I think, you could get into all the conspiracy theories you want, as far as bourbon drinkers love to do, and talk about, oh, they're just trying to make a cheaper product, they're trying to give us shitty barrels, they're trying to do this, they're trying to do that, and maybe there's some truth to that. We don't know, but one thing I do think is going on is they are trying to play with different barrels for for different profiles. Now, whether or not that's just something they're saying that they're doing or something that they are doing, who knows? But I kind of like the flavor variants we're getting in Elijah Craig. And I think people are still stuck on that age is everything. And that's just not the case, because I've had Elijah Craig barrel proof picks that are 8 years and 9 years. And they would actually crush some of the batches of Elijah Craig barrel proof, the standard batches that I've had. So it really just depends what those batches look like, what they are, the flavor variation. It kind of makes it a little bit more interesting. I'm not too worried yet, because as I stated in my video, if we get to a point, we've had only 3 batches release since they announced they're shifting to a variable age statement mindset. 3 batches, the B5 23, which wasn't really a great batch, and arguably not everyone's favorite batch. The C9 23, which was an absolute banger. The B5 23 was 11 years and change. The C was 13 years and change, and now we have this one, which is 10 years and change. So it's the youngest that we've seen since they made that change. Now, it's only 3 releases. Now, if we start seeing a pattern where we're going to get an 8-year, a 9-year, maybe a 10-year, and we get those more often, I think the noise will get louder. I think the banging on that drum will get a little bit louder, pun intended. But I also do think that if Elijah Craig, or Heaven Hill, I should say, throws in, every now and again, the 12, the 13, the 14-year age statement, I think people will just kind of be ready and waiting and salivating for those releases as they come across. So I wouldn't panic just yet. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, Alex, I think them doing the picks, and that's something a lot of people don't realize. When you open yourself up to doing barrel picks, you are putting a dent in the stocks you have. I don't care how big you are. It matters. It's something that has to be quantified. It's something that has to be documented. It's something that has to be tracked, and all of that kind of plays into the stocks that they have now that use into different products. So, all that stuff matters. I just don't think that's a lot of stuff that people pay attention to. They just want to talk about, oh, my age statement's lower. It's, my proof is lower. What the hell's going on? I get it. But yeah. Let's see. So that's all I'm going to say about that. So let's dive into some turkey. My Russells. I don't really have any news, guys. It's been really quiet the last couple weeks. We are starting to get into February. Some more releases starting to hit. Obviously, you have the Green River Rye that released, Elijah Craig, a couple of other nice releases. And Ron Miles is in the chat. I'm glad, because I did come across some new labels on the TTB. And oh boy, am I excited. Mr. Ron Miles, Bardstown Bourbon Company is doing single barrel rye picks. That's right. I see you, Ron. I'm sorry. Wait, let me click that off. I see you, man. Dude, I gotta have one of those. I don't care who's in line for it. Come on, man. Those are gonna be some really good rye whiskeys. Yeah, I can't wait to taste single barrel variants of them. So yeah, get excited for that. Next up, Jack Daniel's is releasing a twice barrel Tennessee straight rye whiskey from the distillery series. Now, this does say a unique rye grain bill, twice barreled in new charred American white oak barrels. I don't know what that means. I don't know if they're using a different mash bill than they normally use, or if this is just they're just saying that their rye mash bill is unique, above all. We will have someone from Jack Daniel's on pretty soon. I'm working on that, and we'll get to talk to them about it. And then last thing I came across was Found North here. The Found North looks like they're doing some private blends of some whiskeys. Now, I don't know a lot of information about this. I'm not sure if this is a blending of different finishes, a blending of different mash bills. I don't know what that looks like, but that's kind of exciting too. So again, this is getting into more of the pattern that I've been seeing the last few years, where single barrels are still super popular, but I think people want more of a personal touch on their whiskeys that they could bottle and take home. And then next step is a blending of some different mash bills, a blending of some different, basically batching your own private barrel together, which I think is pretty cool. So let's see. I think it is. That's right. Got the chance to go my first barrel pick in March. Got the chance to go my first barrel. Oh, in March. Any advice, tips? Says Sanchayan Dimnath. Sorry if I butchered your name there, buddy. Any advice? Any tips? Yeah, don't worry about what you think everybody will like. Just make sure you pick the best barrel that's there. Obviously, you guys will vote. So, make sure you're just picking the best barrel out of the lot, not the one that you think, I'm not sure what your situation is, if it's a store or you're just doing it for a bourbon group. But if you have a big group you're doing it with and you're just worrying about selling the bottles, don't worry about that. Just pick the best barrel you could find. Also, stay hydrated. That always helps. And but make sure you take some time between, the different barrels that you get to try. So that's all I can tell you. Origin Rye single barrel lit coming this year, 80 cast strength and incredible. Green River is 95 proof and $35 so far. Yep, Ron is getting everybody. Yes, drink slowly. Yeah, that's another good piece of advice. All right, guys. Oh, Mojo says in gym, bless ups. Yep, that's right. Before we get into kind of a refresh of the history of Wild Turkey here, man, what can I say? Tough weekend for some of the football teams out there. San Francisco making it to the Super Bowl, along with the Chiefs. Man, I was rooting for the Lions pretty hard, just because I don't know. I just kind of wanted them to stay hot and kind of make it to the Super Bowl. They've never been there, so I think they were kind of like the darling. Everybody just was kind of rooting for them a little bit, probably, unless you're a big San Francisco 49er fan. And then on top of that, the game with the Chiefs, like the Chiefs went from being like, oh, we don't know who they are anymore in the middle of the season, to just flipping a switch on and just dominating the playoffs. It's going to be a really interesting game. I don't know what's going to happen, but for any Lions fans out there, man, I feel for you. That was rough. Like just the roof caved in. It was bad. Probiotics beforehand, bro. Yeah, take a little Z-Biotics. That always helps too. Oh, Knob Creek pick, small group of 4. Yeah, those things get pretty high in proof. Yeah, for sure. Richie Z, Bang Bang Niner Gang, diehard Niner fan. The comeback from Purdy was beautiful. Niner faithful. Alan says Lions choke job. Dan Campbell hopefully learns difference between getting the playoffs and being in the playoffs. That's a good. Oh yes, thank you, Michael S. Okay. So update for the finals of Blendageddon. So Matt from ADHD Whiskey is in. We're just trying to work on a date right now. Fred Minnick, he finally got back to me. He said that he's in, but he's traveling to the Super Bowl this week. So we're hoping next week he's traveling. So we're hoping the following week we could do the Blendageddon finals. But it's still some more time for you guys to get some bottle donations in. Travis Swift and Taylor Travis Swift and Taylor Kelsey will win. Yeah, very nice. So I need to go back and drop the link for if you guys want to donate guys, the list for these donations is just getting more and more incredible. It's going to be an unbelievable night. So, like I said, we have a Michter's 10 from 2023 in there. We have a Stag 22A in there. We have a couple of bottles donated from Ron Miles himself, Bardstown Bourbon Company. We have 2 of my Driftless Glen picks in there. We've got what else? I don't even remember what's on the list, but people have donated some really incredible bottles, and there's more to come. So let me grab the the form for you guys, and then you can. Here we go. So I have a link that you guys can click on. This way you can just literally just write in this document so I can track it, so you can donate your bottles. So let me throw that in the chat. There we go. And I will pin that to the top. So if that's, hopefully that's pinned now for you guys. There you go. All right. How do I submit a bottle for blend again? I've been working on a 50-50 blend for months that I'm absolutely in love with. This is Josh Wolf. So Josh Wolf, blend again and blends are done. You're going to have to wait until next year. Or actually, no, we are next year. You'll have to wait till about maybe August until you have to submit the blend in. But I would, don't waste the time. Refine your blend. Do everything you got to do in order to maybe win it next year. Oh, thanks, Richie. Appreciate that. I guess I could wait 2 weeks for my ultimate defeat. Logan, yeah, the charity stream should be a couple weeks, hopefully. If not, maybe 3 weeks. We're just, again, it's a busy time of year for Fred Minnick, and he's traveling. And I definitely want to get him on, just kind of, pick his brain about some of the, his top 100 lists and what he's seeing in the market. He's always a good resource for information of what's going on. So, all right, guys. So first and foremost, before we get into the A warehouses, and let me put this ticker here. You guys can kind of read that on the bottom. It's basically going to lay out all the different barrels we're going to taste tonight. It might, you guys might be like, what the hell's happening? He's really going to try all these barrels. But we are. And we're going to kind of, like I said, we'll take a little bit of a deep dive into it. I did get some information from Bo Garrett over at Wild Turkey about some of the warehouses as well. So Tyrone A, Camp Nelson A, Tyrone B, McBrayer B, Tyrone D, CNE, Tyrone F, Tyrone G, Tyrone K, Tyrone M, Tyrone Q, Tyrone S, and Tyrone T. And there's the little key for what all that means. So so there you go. That's going to be all the good stuff. So all right, so let's get into a little bit of history here. So the first distillery on Wild Turkey Hill was established in 1850, and it was called Old Moor. The Austin Nichols Company, which was founded in 1855. Let me see. John, will this night end like the infamous ECB tape? I don't think so. Let me bring this. Oh, there we go. So the Austin Nichols Company, which was founded in 1855 as Fitz, Martin, and Clough, was a grocer and non-distilling producer which bought whiskey and wine and bottled it under their own labels, which is a practice that you guys know a lot of brands use today. No CNF. I actually don't have any CNFs left. The ones that I had that I used to get all those times ago, I drank them all, to be honest. They're all gone. Is tagging turned off in the chat? Shouldn't be. Shouldn't be tagging. Let's see here. You know what? Let me pop out the YouTube chat. I usually do that. I could see the highlights a little bit better than in my my streaming software. So there we go. So if anybody tags me, we'll just do it that way. Be good. Okay. All right. So we should be good now. All right, guys. Play the infamous video, Jason. I will. Let me get through the history here before I forget. So I mentioned the brands that, they were sourcing whiskey just like everyone was today. Now, before all that was going on, you have the Rippey family who came to the U.S. around 1830. In 1888, the Rippey family buys the Old Moor Distillery and builds the Old Hickory Springs Distillery over the Old Moor site in 1891. 1893, the Rippey brothers, James P. Rippey and Thomas B.B. Rippey, better known as TB, took their bourbon to the World's Fair in Chicago to represent Kentucky. Thomas Rippey dies in 1902, and then fast forward to 1919. As you know, Prohibition starts and Old Hickory is shut down. Repeal comes, and in 1933, Prohibition ends, and the Rippeys begin restoring and rebuilding the distillery until 1935, when the distillery restoration was completed. Now, that was named the Rippey Brothers Distillery, and they began contract distillation for other providers. So, just making sure I'll try not falling off the stool. So fast forward just after that, in 1936, Austin Nichols president Thomas McCarthy takes some Austin Nichols whiskey on a wild turkey hunting trip, which will lead to the name eventually. Apparently, the flavor left such an impression that they requested some of that wild turkey whiskey on future occasions and trips, giving birth to the iconic name Wild Turkey. Now, all in between that, in 1954, Jimmy Russell joined the JTS Brown Boulevard Distillery, who ended up becoming a pretty much living legend. Now, it really wasn't until all these different timelines came together in 1971 that Wild Turkey became the brand that we all know and love today. Now, the first Wild Turkey labels emerged in about 1940, but being an NDP, Austin Nichols was still sourcing from a bunch of distilleries until 1971 when they bought the Boulevard Distillery and renamed it Wild Turkey, the same one that Jimmy Russell was working at. In 1950, the first Wild Turkey 101 rye was released with a 65-23-12 mash bill until 1960 when they started getting it from Michter's. So again, all the sourcing started going on. Fast forward to 1967, Jimmy Russell becomes master distiller. As I mentioned, in 1971, Austin Nichols buys the Boulevard Distillery, name changed to Wild Turkey, and all the bourbon production moved to that site. No more source bourbon was happening. Eddie Russell joins the company as a general helper in 1981. In 98, to celebrate Jimmy's 45 years of service at the Wild Turkey Distillery in Lawrenceburg, Kentucky, Eddie crafts a special small batch bourbon that he calls Russell's Reserve. So we fast forward to 2004, Jimmy's 50th year at Wild Turkey, and the barrel entry proof changes from 107 to 110 until 2 years later, in 2006, it goes from 110 to 115. 2009, Campari buys Wild Turkey for $575 million. 2015, Eddie becomes master distiller. Bruce Russell becomes a brand ambassador. And in 2018, Jimmy and Eddie hit a combined years of 101 years of distilling in their combined history. And then pretty much after that, as I always say, Campari figures out that we have something good here. Wild Turkey. Let's use what we got and start raising prices and stuff. I'm only kidding. I'm not really kidding, but that's kind of what happened. So there you go. All right, so that's kind of the quick history lesson there, and that's always kind of a good refresh for me as I like to do it. I'm not sure where else it's from. It's not. Oh, Andrew, it's not a pick. Okay, Campari did something good. Yeah, they bought it, but just throughout that entire history, it's kind of cool to see kind of the ebbs and flows of everything that Wild Turkey went through, how it got its name. They used to be an NDP like everybody else was, like a lot of brands are today. Just it's amazing how things just tend to come full circle. So, all right. So the first two we're going to try tonight, guys, is a Tyrone A and a Camp Nelson A. So I have some of the maps here. So here is the Tyrone main map. Actually, let me turn off the ticker here, so you guys can see down there the letter A. So here's A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, and then the beautiful warehouse K over there, which is up by the distillery. Now, warehouse A is right across from the tiny little, right across the street from the tiny little gift shop that's open now until they reopen the main gift shop. And as you can see right there, B is right next to it. Right there all the way on the bottom, kind of like the bottom right hand where the A is. And a little bit of cool history about warehouse letter A. Now, warehouse A, let's see, the Tyrone A is the oldest. It was built in 1894. That's an old warehouse. In 1894. Now, if you go to Tyrone T is their biggest rick house at this point, which holds over 50,000 barrels. We'll talk about some of the other ones, but there's kind of a cool map that you could see of the different rick houses of Wild Turkey, and just absolutely love kind of diving into those. Thanks to Bo Garrett for providing those images, and also Rarebird 101. So let's dive into these. Now, what I've come to find with Rick House's A, so if you ever see a Tyrone A pick, generally what I have come to find is you get some pretty classic, Wild Turkey flavors. They're not too off the beaten path, but you get some really nice rich flavors. You get kind of that citrus punch, you get some toffee, you get a lot of like those classic, vanilla and caramel flavors, and it's one of those rick houses. And I think here, let's see, Yeah, the rick house, Tyrone rick houses sit high above the Kentucky River, some out in the open, and others huddled closer together, like A and B, as we just saw on the map. The elevation and distance from one rick house to another plays a role in the flavor profiles curated over time, primarily due to airflow, which is something we'll talk about a little bit later with the Camp Nelsons, with the Camp Nelson rick houses. And we'll see where exactly those McBrayer rick houses sit as well. So we saw that main campus shot. Let me grab the other one here. I don't think I have this one uploaded quite yet. So let me throw that one in the mix too, so you guys can see the rest of what the other rick houses look like, and you could see the higher letters. So if you as you're driving your way into Wild Turkey, you start seeing all these higher rick houses. You have UPM, NOS, QRTV, and XYZ. I don't know if those have been built yet, but there's placeholders for them. As you can see, the big giant turkeys out there. But between the two sites, I mean, that is a ton of whiskey that's just sitting there aging at Wild Turkey. Absolutely love it. So let's go to Camp Nelson here, because Camp Nelson now is down low by the Kentucky River, sits a lot lower than Tyrone does. So as we're kind of comparing these two, it kind of gets into the different locations of where these warehouses are. So Camp Nelson sits a lot lower next to the Kentucky River, and it supposedly gets a lot more airflow down there, especially when you're talking about rick houses E and F. They sit the lowest, they get the most airflow, they get the wind coming off the river there, and that's what really kind of drives some of those really funky barrels that, you know, a lot of people seem to know and love. So there you go. So that's what we're kind of comparing right here, right now. So let me bring the comments back up. Enough of me yapping. So I hope I didn't bore you guys to death yet. So here we go. Now, so right here we have the Tyrone A, which I think is a little bit more of a classic type of turkey, versus the Camp Nelson A. Now, the Camp Nelson A, Michael S., where do you set up your tent when you go on your pilgrimage and give your sacrifice to the turkey god? Says Michael S. I don't know, man. I've been to a lot of warehouses, guys, you know, a lot of rick houses. And if you're like me and you've been lucky enough to do a good amount of barrel picks, there is nothing like Warehouse A at Wild Turkey. I mean, it's built before 1900. Just so much. The fact that it's even still standing, and the fact that oh my God, there's just nothing like it. I mean, I get like a really cool feeling too walking and tending the Buffalo Trace rick houses, but I don't know, it's a different feeling when you're in Warehouse A at Wild Turkey. Yeah, also a bit more humid at Camp Nelson. That's what I've heard as well. Black Bourbon family is here. What is going on? Jason and Brandy, nice to see you guys. I took another trip around the sun. All right, so as I kind of thought, Tyrone A, a little bit more of a classic turkey profile. Again, your caramels, your vanillas, you get some of the richer profiles here. Now this is a pick from Rare Bird 101. This is the corner barrel, and I will kind of talk about each of these picks as I go through them here. And it's kind of a play on Cracker Barrel. You see a little picture of Jimmy Russell sitting next to his corner barrel, which I love. And then this one is an older pick I have, as you can see the older labeling here. And this is a Camp Nelson A from John O's Liquors, and they call this the Birdman. And the reason why they kind of put a sticker of Jimmy Russell on here, and he's wearing a lot of like ice. He's like covered in diamonds. And the reason why they did that is because of the ice. When they did this pick, apparently it was like minus 17 degrees out there. So that was kind of the story behind this pick, which I thought was pretty interesting. So I feel like any Rare Bird pick we're going to put in here is going to be unfair because he picks just amazing barrels of Wild Turkey. But this one here, man, this just has so much flavor. It has everything you love about Wild Turkey, obviously just amped up. little bit more of a candy-like vibe to it, which I really like. And then let's go to the Camp Nelson E. I'm sorry, Camp Nelson A. See, now the Camp Nelson A to me isn't as, I mean, again, let's take a look at where Camp Nelson A exactly is. Well, no, those are the McBrayers. Camp Nelson A is pretty set back away from the river. So I don't think we're going to get as much as that funky, those funky different flavor profiles like you get in E and F. In this case, I actually do prefer the Tyrone A barrels here. Yeah, Rarebird's pick is just denser. It's richer. You can almost chew this whiskey. A lot of rich caramel flavor here. Some of that citrus, that toffee note, vanilla cream. Between the two, now again, even though this was picked in a freezing amount of cold, I still think that this one actually holds true. It even has a longer finish than the Camp Nelson A does as well. Yeah, that's one way to chill your whiskey for sure. What are the ages of Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirit CNE from 2023, says Nicholas. Remember, Wild Turkey Kentucky Spirits are usually start off as Russell's picks, and they'll get watered down to 101 proof. So those could actually vary between 8 and 11 years old, same as Russell's. I don't know if there's a distinct cutoff, but you get those ages. This barrel right here, that's one of my picks, is a Tyrone T. And this Tyrone T is a Kentucky Spirit, and this is an 10, almost 11-year-old barrel. So, and you definitely taste the differences in the flavor profiles here. So, man, and the more I smell the corner barrel, this is where the more of that citrus comes to the forefront. So again, playing on some of those really nice classic turkey flavors with the Tyrones. As far as the ones that I've experienced, I really do think if you love the classic turkey notes, I think A is a good way to go, especially the Tyrone A. Camp Nelson A, I can't say I've tried enough of these in order to come to a specific conclusion about which one I like over the other. But in this case, the Tyrone A is just killing it. Yeah, all picks are typically 8 to 10. I've had 13-year Kentucky Spirit and 13-year-old Russell Reserve single barrels too. Anyone going to the Bourbon and Beyond Music Festival in September, we can meet up at Turkey Campus for a party. Drams for Dummies. I kind of dig that idea. All right. So we're going to keep one of these barrels, one of these sample bottles aside, or sample glasses, I should say, because we're going to kind of do a big blend here at the end. We're going to make a blend, and I'm going to name it Alphabet Soup. And what we'll do is we'll kind of take a little bit of each barrel that we try here and kind of throw it in there. All right, so now we're going to get into some really interesting barrels, and this is going to be a Tyrone B and a McBrayer B. Now, the McBrayer B comes from Rarebird 101. This is called the Old Jim. This is the Old Jim barrel, and this is, let's see. This is about 9 years old. And yep, but this is a McBrayer B. So a little bit of a different area here, and we could show you where McBrayer lies. Now, McBrayer, a little bit of a different story to it. The McBrayer campus is, let's see here. They were acquired by the Austin Nichols and company from Seagram's in 1976. Now, at present, there are 3 in use by Wild Turkey, which is A, B, and C. And if you've ever visited the Four Roses Distillery in Lawrenceburg, you've likely noticed their time-worn presence across the street right from the Four Roses Distillery in Lawrenceburg. So McBrayer is also noteworthy for aging the whiskey that would become Master's Keep's Decades in 2017. Let's see. Decades was composed of bourbons aged 10 to 20 years, all distilled in the old distillery, many at the former, lower barrel entry proofs. But that doesn't mean this stockroom Kentucky Spirit selection. Okay, he's talking about that. So that comes from Mr. Rarebird 101 himself. So let's hide that. And let's get these poured. So McBrayer, oh, we have 506 people in the chat tonight, guys. Thank you so much for hanging out, watching. Please hit the like button while you're hanging out below. Really appreciate it. If you're not a subscriber yet, please hit subscribe. I am still aiming for that 100,000 subscriber mark for 2024. So we're getting there. The channel's actually had some good growth lately. So I'm optimistic. Usually pessimistic, but I'm optimistic. So yeah, let's do it. Let's see if you're at that time. The Tennessee was had Ed Foote and Jim Rutledge. Oh yeah, Jim Rutledge. Yeah, for sure. The Funky Bee Warehouse. So here's the thing about McBrayer. Now, I had never tasted anything from McBrayer. You know, I know I was talking to Rarebird 101 for a little bit. It was last year, Rarebird, when the McBrayer bottles were starting to kind of hit a little bit here and there. And when I tasted my first one, it probably was the most unique wild turkey I'd ever tasted. And the reason why is these McBrayer Rickhouses bring out whiskeys that literally taste like Capri Sun, like grape juice. It is crazy how fruity and sweet and easy sipping these are. And I think the Old Jim is no exception. You're getting close to that YouTube plaque. Yes, I am trying. I'm trying. 86.4. Yeah, I went from 84 to 86 really quickly, it seems. So I just got to keep, plugging away here, guys. One thing I do want to make a quick, well, we'll talk later about some of my upcoming videos, which I think will be really fun to do. But this just tastes like, this smells like straight up grape juice, grape jelly. It is so good. Is Turkey going to reinvest in the McBrayer site? Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if Rarebird knows. I know Rarebird's busy. I think he's like painting his house. So, oh my gosh. The McBrayers are just absolute fruity. I mean, it's like a bowl of Fruity Pebbles. It is so good. Bill Mills, I'm predicting by June 2024, Jason. That'd be pretty cool if I hit it by June. We'll definitely have a nice celebration if I do hit it. It'll be kind of a cool year. I started the channel in 2018. It's now 2024. So be kind of cool. My Russell single barrel doesn't say which rickhouse it came from. I don't know, Alex. Maybe it had a tag on it and maybe the tag fell off. They used to come on tags. I don't know if it's a newer one. Some bottles say TYRA and some bottles say A. Is the A Tyrone? So there is a way to kind of tell. I doubt they'll fix up McBrayer. My guess is they build new, if anything at all. It's their weakest maturation campus for multiple reasons. Today's picks will designate Tyrone A versus Camp Nelson A versus I don't think we're going to be seeing anything from McBrayer anytime soon again this year, unless they come back into rotation at some point. They put a lot of single barrels from McBrayer out in the market last year. I'm not sure if they need time to mature in there before they come out again. But, oh, lost my sticker. I'm such a nerd that I actually like sticker all these exactly like what rickhouse belongs where. So my two Russell single barrels don't say either, says Josh Wolf. Well, Josh, are they picks or did you buy them off the shelf? That's what we need to know. Holy crap, the legend is here. 80 HD whiskey. What's going on, buddy? Hope you're doing well. Yeah, they'll only say if it's a single barrel pick. If you have a bottle that looks like, where's the one I was sipping on? This one. It's not going to tell you. If it just says single barrel like that, it's not going to tell you. But if it looks like this, where it says private selection on it, then it should have the information somewhere. One is a pick. One is from the distillery. I got it signed by Jimmy Russell. Oh, okay. Oh, so yeah. So Alex, yeah, yours is off the shelf, so it's not going to say. Yeah, ADHD whiskey in the house. Got a legend. Yeah, Josh, I don't know. I feel like there's nothing on the back, like you should have like a back tag like this, which says where your pick was from. So yeah, my pick from 2020. Yeah, this one just says B on it. But at this point here, they weren't labeling Tyrone or McBrayer or Camp Nelson, so you wouldn't have known unless you go there and did the pick. Let's see. Yeah, ADHD, man. Just can't wait for you to praying for you in the teeth and hope everything works out, man. It's gonna be you're gonna have that $1 million smile soon, buddy. Love it. All right, let's go to the Tyrone B. Now, this is a pick that I helped on for OHLQ. So, Ohio, every now and again, lets me come along and pick some barrels. And this one I got to help on. This was one of the Tyrone B barrels that we selected. And it's a completely different profile than the McBrayers. Yeah, Tyrone is a different campus. Yeah, Tyrone is a different location from the Camp Nelsons. Yep, Camp Nelsons are set a lot lower. The Tyrone rickhouses are set closer to the distillery up high. So that's kind of the different. And McBrayer is near Four Roses, which is further away, but still in Lawrenceburg. Yeah, so I will say, if McBrayers ever do come back into existence, you will see the MC for the Mick and maybe the B like McBrayer. And those warehouses are absolute fruit bombs. So if you like a fruit forward bourbon, fruit forward whiskey, then those McBrayers are going to be one that you'll have to watch out for. As far as the Tyrone B, I feel like out of all the Tyrone Bs I've had, this is one of many that I've had. I feel like you get the flavors that you're used to from the A barrels, or the A warehouse, I should say. But Tyrone B just always has a little bit more of a oaky, maybe like a little bit more of a hint of chocolate for me. In any B that I've had, it's a really kind of an interesting thing. I feel like B comes off a little bit oakier usually, at least to my palate. I've tried a lot of different ones, and as much as I do like it, I don't know. I still feel like I gear probably more towards A over the B, but these McBrayers are absolutely delicious. So that's kind of like the different thing. I mean, look, they're all gonna be really good, but as far as like this comparison, this McBrayer is ridiculously good. Oh, we'll be trying a Q tonight, Tyler. I've only had one Q, and we're gonna have another Q. There is one warehouse I've never tried that I'm gonna be opening tonight. So we'll see when we get to that one. Yeah, that's just I think this Tyrone B, it's very good, but I think it's going against like this just fruit monster that's just kind of overtaken it. So yeah. So there are the Bs. So let's kind of put those aside. Oh, and I have you know what? I'm gonna do the Camp Nelson to the blend here. Just a little bit. Let's see here. We're sipping regular shelf Russells. I love it. Master and Drum, I think it's important to mention, if you haven't, that different years play a huge role. A Tyrone B from 2017 is completely different from a 2022. Yeah, exactly. I kind of say that in the beginning, David, that these are all single barrels. They're gonna mature differently. They're gonna taste differently here and there. But I'm just going off of my experience personally and all the different picks I've been lucky enough to be on, that the Tyrone Bs generally come off a little bit darker and oakier for me, generally. But yeah, there's just the amount of flavor profiles you get throughout these warehouses is incredible. And I can't wait to like dive into some more here. So yeah, let's do it. We're going to go into now, the Tyrone D, which is a bourbon that I'm proud to say, my own bourbon club picked. This is the Tyrone D. I had never. Story was cool for this one. We were literally driving into the distillery, and we're just kind of driving. And D kind of sits on the outside, like right near the road. So if you kind of look at there, so when you're driving down Versailles Road here, Versailles. I'm not sure how people in Kentucky say that word. I've heard it 2 different ways. You literally pass by D, and you can see it right there on the left as you're driving, and kind of as you're making your way to the gift shop. And the funny thing is like as we were driving, all of a sudden I just kind of looked to my left, and I'm like, man, Tyrone D. Never had anything from Tyrone D. And then it ended up being one of the barrels we picked. So this is the first and only D that I've had. I'm just going to keep saying it, and you guys are just giggling like school children. I know. It's the only D. It's the only D. It's the only D that I've had.
That's what she said.
So let's get into this one a little bit. Versailles. They do say Versailles, don't they? They do say Versailles. Versailles. Yeah, we're going to get into a little bit of K as well. I've got a Q from the Beast Smashers up in New York City. Can't wait to crack it. We have a Q that I'm going to crack tonight as well. That's an impressive D then. All right, so the reason why this kind of just blew our mind was how fruit forward it was for a Tyrone. I don't think I've ever had something this fruit forward. By the time we tasted it, we did get kind of a darker profile as well, but oh my God, it's so candy. This is one of the sweeter. Like, I feel like the sweetness of this could go up against like a Stag Junior. Like, that's how candy I think this Tyrone D is. Now, again, I have nothing else to base that on. I haven't had other barrels from that warehouse. However, it's so candy forward and rich that I think it could go up against like some of those Stag Junior barrels that get really candy. Like batch 15 of Stag. I think this would go right up against it, being that candy forward. It's just super sweet. Oh my gosh. It's got this back end like sweet tarts a little bit right on the very end of it that just kind of goes into play with just some sweet tart candy. And you kind of mix that in with like I'm not gonna say it's bubble gum. Man, what is that? I get kind of like a little bit of like a root beer candy note, but it's like sweeter than maybe it's like more of like a cream soda, like a concentrated cream soda note with that sweet tart, and just it's so good. Plus, it leaves this really sneaky long finish on this barrel, which we really loved. Love a great long finish on a bourbon, and this one definitely brought that. So yeah, really really good. You do always love sample D in a blind. Yeah, Henry, it's a thing. I always liked sample D in a blind for sure. All right, so let's add this to the alphabet soup. There we go. And of course I brought out the wild turkey cup for some water. Gotta have my wild turkey water. All right, so yeah, Tyrone D. If you guys ever come across it, I would highly recommend trying a barrel from there. Absolutely love that barrel so much. All right. Next this is a bottle I have not tried yet. This is a Camp Nelson E. Now let's bring up the map again for Camp Nelson. Camp Nelson here is, like I said, it's a little bit low. They sit a lot lower than the Tyrone rick houses, and they're closer to the Kentucky River. Now, what did I say earlier? Camp Nelson E and F get these really interesting flavor profiles because of the airflow that comes off of the river there. So I'm expecting this to hopefully be America. That's for you, ADHD whiskey, if you're watching. All right, I have A, C, and B, 6th floor. I'm a big fan of the TNA. It's got a cherry cola thing going on. You should have put the tater sticker on the back labeling. I'll take you to the candy shop. So fitting for the big T. Well, that pick we dedicated to Mr. Kelsey Dime, and we call that pick Kelsey's and Turkey for All because he loves Metallica. So we have the Injustice for All sticker on it. we got these bottles before the stickers came, so we didn't get any stickers, unfortunately. But all right, B Bauer says that's what I am sipping, the CNE. Oh, okay, so you're sipping along with me. I love it. Okay. Say less. Yeah, I think I got roped into that one. All right. First time sipping on this one, and I'll kind of show you guys here. This is from Toddy's Liquors. Now, Toddy's is a very, very popular small liquor store in Kentucky. This one is called the Twix. So this is the Twix 11, it says. There it is. Toddy's Liquors, Twix 11 from August of 2023. And I got to thank my buddy Ben in the chat for grabbing this for me. Well, I'll tell you this. The nose on this is very Camp Nelson-esque. It's very, very rich. Oh, my God. It is chocolate and caramel. A little bit of, I would say there's a little bit of like a grape cherry vibe going on, too. A little bit of funkiness. Really dig this. The Twix series is pretty legendary for sure, Troop. Oh, man. Shit, that might be the best one we've had tonight. Well, I don't know. I like the D a lot. Haha, I said it again. All right, let's try it. Cheers. Oh, wow. I'm telling you, there's just something about those Camp Nelson Racal, E and F, that are just so rich and dense and just full of just, my goodness, that is good. Wow. Yeah, Whiskey Uncensored. This is the bottle you grabbed me. This is the first time I'm cracking it. Best one I've ever had was the Camp Nelson F Floor 5. Yeah, the Camp Nelson Fs, when they released, a couple of years ago when they were dropping, I bought so many of those, shared them. I was looking for one tonight. I'm like, crap, I don't have any left. The only one I have is the single Rickhouse F. I was like, which ended up being my bourbon of the year. Wait until you try Camp Nelson B. I told you it's insane, dude. This is really, really crazy. Oh, man, that is... Yeah, I mean, I could see a Twixy vibe to this. Yeah, for sure. Good amount of chocolate. Caramel here for days. Kind of like vanilla cookie in the middle. I think there's a slight dark fruit note to it. There's also a little bit of a dryness to it, I think, from the from like that chocolate like vibe it has. That's nice. This is a very, very concentrated pick. Again, just those flavors off the Camp Nelsons, man, are so damn good. What do you suppose they'd be giving Bardstown for Disco 11? Is there a particular house they do their sourcing sales from? Paul P., I don't know, man. I'm not going to get into all that. That's all, who knows where they get what from. I don't know. I'm sure that's probably one of those things where, I don't know, probably NDAs get involved, so nobody's really going to know. So many great profiles. Glad I could give you your best Kelsey Dime. Kelsey, I actually talked to Rarebird about this a while back, and David's actually been doing it. If nobody's following Rarebird 101, he's been doing kind of the taste of different warehouses as well. But I figured I was kind of scrambling today because I thought Blendageddon could maybe happen, and then then I was like, okay, well, I'm not doing that. So I kind of put out some ideas to the patrons for what we could do tonight. I threw out a few ideas, especially the Russell's thing. And yeah, this one got clearly the most votes. So we're drinking Russell's tonight with everybody, which is a lot of fun. So see, yeah, I could see the Twix vibe on this, but man, it is turning there's a nice dark fruit punch coming through. But Kelsey Dime in the chat, that's who the D is named after. All right. That might be one or two tonight of my favorite picks. All right, let's throw a little bit more of that into the Alphabet Soup blend. So we'll kind of keep monitoring that. All right, so that is the E. Now, what's next? Do I have an F here? I think I have an F. Yeah, Tyrone F. So this is a Tyrone F pick, and this is also from Rare Bird. And this is 10 years old. This is a 10-year-old pick, 4th floor of Warehouse F, Tyrone F. And this one of the best stickers, by the way. This one's called Gobble Eye. So, yep. Kind of the James Bond theme, which I think is awesome. So, very much like GoldenEye. Did anybody play GoldenEye, the video game? Remember GoldenEye? That was one of the best video games ever created. GoldenEye. Dude, that game, so good. I tasted it and we needed it. It says Whiskey Uncensored. I don't know. Yeah, Gobble Eye, Rare Bird. Yep. I saw something about the KC picks. Let's talk about these, the Knob Creek picks. Knob Creek needs to bring back varying age store picks. I feel like they all taste the same now, and they all used to be so unique. I agree, man. I agree, John. Most of them are about 9 or 10 years old. Even, I've seen a couple 8 years out there. Actually, no, because I'm sorry, I'm thinking of something else. Yeah, 9 or 10. Don't really see any get into, a lot higher than that. But again, you guys got to remember, now they're using 12-year-old barrels from Knob Creek 12. They have the Knob Creek 15. They have Knob Creek 18. There's just so many age-stated products coming out of Jim Beam that obviously, and this goes back to my point last time, where you're going to kind of rob Peter to pay Paul. You're going to kind of take stuff out of your stocks to make new products to sell. And that's, unfortunately, is what's happening with the Knob Creek picks. So, yep. Yeah, the background music was awesome for GoldenEye. Yeah, grenade launchers on GoldenEye. Proximity mines. Yes, proximity mines. Very helpful. Everyone's showing their age, and I'm here for it. Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, man. See, Rare Bird's picks, man. What the hell? So Tyrone F. Obviously very different from Camp Nelson F. Everybody loves Camp Nelson F picks. We've kind of talked about that at length. In nausea, just how good they are. But a Tyrone F pick, I wouldn't sleep on either. Let's look at where Tyrone F sits. So let's take a look at the map guys here. So let's go to Tyrone F. So there you go. Tyrone F kind of diagonal from where the D is. So yeah, there you go. There's where you see F kind of. Oh, it's right there, right off of Tyrone Road. Love it. There you go. Let me throw. Oh, I forgot to throw this back up. Oh, excuse me. Got the hiccups. GoldenEye was great, but don't try to play it today. You'll ruin your great memories of it. Yeah, that's true. That's true. I used to be so good at video games. Now I suck. I'm terrible at video games now. I won't even attempt to go on. I get so mad. This is like my secret shame. All right, guys, here we go. This is like my secret shame. So I got Halo Infinite like a while back, played through the game, beat it. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm good. Let's go online and play some of these kids in Halo Infinite. Let's see how I do. I get into one of the online games, big collection of players in there. I get smoked. Like, by the time I'm finding my button to shoot like someone, I'm dead. And just then I respawn and I take like 5 steps, dead. Respawn on different strategy, 15 steps, dead. I'm like, what is happening right now? Like, I can't even shoot anyone. Then I finally get like a good weapon. I'm lining that shit up and then dead. Like, there was nothing I could do. I was awful. Then I get, the game ends. I have no kills. I died like 35 times, and then I get messages from all these guys that were on that team. Hey, bro, you suck. I'm like, people are mean. It hurt my feelings a little bit. I'm like, damn, I do suck. That was terrible. Oh man. And then oh man, I don't even want to tell you what I wrote back to the kid. I was like, It's like, what are you, 7 years old? You're adopted. Your parents don't even love you. I wrote some mean shit back to him. I feel bad. It is. I had some guilt there. It was pretty bad. Oh my God. Yeah, that means I'm getting old. I'm just not as quick on the trigger. Like these kids just, oh my God, I couldn't believe it. I was crying laughing. It's actually making me laugh right now. It was friggin' hilarious. Yeah, I need to go back to like Duck Hunt. You know, Street Fighter, I'm pretty damn good at Street Fighter, so I'll stick to that. Dragon Punch all day long. Oh my God, it's so funny. So this is a Tyrone F that I'm sipping on right now. Again, 10 years old. This is fantastic. Wow. This is... Let me try to get these flavor profiles here. Oh, wow. What is that, dude? Let me... So this to me is more of a... This one has like a caramel apple vibe to it that is just absolutely... Oh my God, this bottle. I mean, this is like the essence of crushable. This is a crushable bottle of Wild Turkey Russell's Reserve. That is crazy good. I mean, you kind of get all the other flavors of toffee, but like the toffee and the citrus is there, but citrus is kind of more on the backside. And then this is more kind of front loaded with sweet flavors. There's not a big punch of spice here. I'm not going to say this has a long finish. This, again, it kind of falls into like that McBrayer territory where you're not going to get a long finish. But the flavors you get, you just want to kind of keep going back to it. And it's just completely crushable. Tyrone, the differences between Tyrone F and the differences between, you know, Tyrone F versus Camp Nelson F are, oh my God, they are miles apart for sure. I'm going to pour some Gobble Eye now, says Rarebird. Rarebird, grab it, man. Rarebird, this is super crushable. Coming across the bridge over the Kentucky River and looking up the warehouse at the house that Jimmy built was pretty cool. All these overhead map pics remind me of that as I sip as a Camp Nelson F Kentucky spirit. Hell yeah, Joe Dimler. Thanks for checking in, man. Do you know what the difference is between different generations when they get insulted? Boomers, that's rude. Millennials, that's insulting. Hurt my feelings. Gen X, your mom. Oh man, I got so mad at that kid. Oh my God. I said some very mean things to him. I'm like, you sitting in your basement? You're in your basement right now, in your room? Are you adopted? Like, oh my God, I am not proud of what I said to that kid. Like, don't message me and say you suck. Like, what the hell is that? Come on. I wrote out all this stuff and just was like, send. And then I didn't hear back from that kid. I don't know where he went, but I definitely hurt his feelings. Poor kid. Yeah, Gobble Eye. And I also think it's really interesting with the Russell's picks too. The variation of flavors that you get across warehouses, I do think bring you different oak profiles. You sometimes get a sweet oak, sometimes you get a like that musty oak or that funky oak note that Wild Turkey is kind of known for as well. So yeah. All right. Now get into another interesting warehouse. Two warehouses, one warehouse, two different drams, and that's going to be G. Who here in the chat has had a G warehouse pick? Anyone had any G's? Nothing but a G thing, baby. Come on, G unit. Anybody had a G? No? Yeah. All right. All right. So this G barrel is from one of my favorite stores in Long Island called Westside Slip Wines and Liquors. So this is their G pick. And then this one, anybody that's part of the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club, you're going to know this bottle really well. It is the Look at the Birdie pick, the old Top Gun one. There it is. So really, you can't see it, unfortunately, but this was the first sticker I ever designed for the Mash and Journey Whiskey Club. And it's an oldie but a goodie. So if you guys have seen Top Gun, here's the Look at the Birdie sticker. What you can't see is right there on the bottom of the plane, and on the black plane, the evil plane, there's some white writing there. And essentially, I wrote the word Blanton's in Russian. And then, it's like the picture of, them flipping over and giving them, the finger. So that was like my, I love this sticker. It was so good. Yeah, this is a pretty legendary pick, but it's a G. G is the best, says Joe Dimmler. Millennials eat Tide Pods. Oh, my God. Everyone's getting on the millennials now. Actually, yeah, let me keep these here. I think G on the down low has some of the best barrels I've ever had from Wild Turkey. So, again, we're talking about some of my favorite locations. G is definitely up there. We've already talked about the McBrayer warehouses, that are those kind of crushable bottles. Tyrone F, I think the one we just tried, really crushable as well. And that D that we had, really, really, really good. But G, any G I've ever had seems to stand out among the rest. So let's dive back into these. And these are actually very similar on the nose. Let me look at the stats here and see if they're actually in the same location. So fourth floor, 200945. This is fourth floor. And this is, let's see, 11K18. This was 12. So this one was almost 10 years old. This was just about to turn 10 before they bottled it, a little bit under. So it's like 9 years, 11 months, something like that. And then this G, do we have a dump date on here? Yeah, nothing. Oh, it's covered up with a sticker. So, yep, unfortunately, no information I can give you on this one, but they do sell similar. Hey, what's up, Jeffrey Wack? Nice to see you, man. What were you doing? We were what were you doing? Communicating, foreign relations. By giving him the bird. These are actually pretty similar on the, from the G note here. This is the G unit. Oh my God. I forgot how good this barrel was. This is all I have left of that first pick. And, this pick we did back in, 20, oh my gosh, when did 2021, we picked this bottle. This is all I have left. Just sitting here hanging out. We were inverted. So the thing that G has, to me, is this savory spice infusion in between all the sweet. And that's why I love it so much. I think it's one of those unique characteristics that we haven't come across in any of the others. The other ones have either been classic turkey, very fruit forward, very sweet turkey. But this G is the first one that we've come across, I think, that you get this really heavy infusion of spice. And that rye, that Wild Turkey, it's funny now when you think about it, like Wild Turkey was known as kind of a high rye mash bill with 13% rye. And, there's so much higher rye now in some of these mash bills that we're seeing today. But, way back when, that was considered a high rye bourbon, I guess. So, but in the G's, I feel like that spice, the allspice, the, maybe you can get into like a spicy cinnamon red hot type note, kind of comes into play in between the sweetness levels here. So did it hit it hit the spot. I crushed a D in 3 days. Remember getting Reese's Pieces note on the look of the birdie. Yeah, Justin, maybe that's what it is too. Maybe there's a little bit of a peanut brittle thing going on too. And that's the other thing that happens, I think, with some Russell's picks. there are some that do come across like peanut forward, which is generally an attribute that you would think comes from either Jim Beam or Heaven Hill. But Wild Turkey does get it too. It just depends on the warehouse it's coming from. Yeah, a little bit there. Damn, that's good stuff. The spice and the finishes on G is what sells it for me. So, yeah, these two taste very similar. I've tasted 4 Gs, and they all are in this realm to me. So I can't say that I've had another G that's been outside of what I described. So maybe that's a pretty similar profile, at least, because these are years apart. This one was, I think, 2 years older than this one. So that's kind of the, it's like a different vibe across the board here. When you're looking at like the rye spice factor of it. Whiskey Juice says, holy shite, my favorite bottle is Warehouse G. Yeah, dude. 4G negative dive, inverted. Yeah, Whiskey Juice, I could see why G would be a favorite. It was definitely a favorite of mine until I came across, oh, wait a second. Guys, if anyone is just tuning in or following along, we are making the alphabet soup blend here. I'm taking a piece or a sample of each of the letter warehouses we're trying and putting them in the blend, which we'll try later. I'm going to put a little look at the birdie into the alphabet soup blend, and we're going to let that mingle, baby. This is how you do it, man. It's how we do it on the Mash and Drum. Okay. Next one up. G, where are we here? A, B, C, D, F, G, H, I don't have an H, I don't have an I, J. Well, we're up to K. K is, nope, that's not K. No, that's Q. Where's the K barrel? Oh, here's K. Boomity boom. K is special warehouse, especially late 2023 coming into 24. I've tried ADHD Whiskey's K barrel, which is unbelievably good. We picked a K barrel. I have another K barrel, and you know what? I might just give away one of my K barrels tonight. We'll get into that in a little bit, but I'm just saying. K. This is the special K that I selected late last year. And out of all the barrels we tried, we went eight barrels in. This was the 6th barrel that we tried, and it was an immediate, we have to have that barrel. And it ended up being a Warehouse K. And then what happened was as we kind of were making our picks and we were seeing other selections from other groups, we realized that everybody was picking Ks. The K barrels were just hitting. At that moment, at that time of year, even Bruce Russell was like, yeah, I knew you were going to pick a K. And he kind of said it in like that Kentucky like accent. Yeah, I knew you were going to pick a K. And I was just like, yeah, that was terrible. But you know what I'm saying? He was, yeah. Do you have more single picks of the Russells than Elijah Craig picks? Says no content available. Yeah, I have 60-something Russells picks. Actually, I'm probably borderline 70 right now. Okay, I just got 3 more. So, yep. That K pick is fantastic. Henry Turner is sipping a K right now. So, the thing that we loved about K, again, was that balance of sweet and spice and how concentrated the flavor profile was. And this, to us, just brought that in spades. Man. Oh, wow. This is as much as a flavor punch as you're going to get. Now, again, if I didn't mention it, again, guys, when you go to pick Russell's reserve picks, you got to remember they are going to be all proof down to 110. They're all going to be proof down to 110, but that's not far off of entry proof for Russell Reserve. Some of them do get a little bit higher, so you're not really proofing them down too much. So you are getting full flavor here with the Russell's picks, which is what I love. That was a great Mr. Mackey and Crescent. Okay. Yep. I'm a goody Tyrone K. Trying to follow with Special K. Definitely making me feel special. I like it. Definitely CNF, but K is great. Yeah, I love K. Rob D, if you give away a bottle, I'll throw in a 2023 Camp Nelson F. 8th year for what, dude? Rob D, are you serious? All right. So this is what we'll do. We'll give away. Well, I need someone to track any giveaways. Is there anyone in the chat that's willing to track names right now? Because I have a couple of ideas here. Ben Demon Hunter says that's likely a misprinted T. Looks like I have a Russell's Reserve Single Barrel Warehouse 7 floor T. What does that mean? Yeah, there's no numbered warehouses. You probably have a T, not a 7. No letter, only numbers. Warehouse 7 and floor T. Probably a misprint, Ben. They don't have any warehouses that are numbers, so that's definitely a misprint. So Warehouse K, why I think it's been so popular the last few months, into not even the last few months, but even going into kind of, 3/4 through the year last year, kind of July, August into the rest of the year, is because this has what a lot of bourbon drinkers like. It's a very intense punch of flavor up front. You get a lot of spice, you get a lot of sweet. It's a flavor bomb. And every Tyrone K that I have tasted has kind of that same experience. I don't think it's a coincidence. I think just Tyrone K just does this with the barrels. And that's what I really, really love about Tyrone K. I just keep seeing pics of it. Justin's House of Bourbon just had a recent release of Tyrone K, which might be the one I might be giving away. We have, it's just, they're just so good. Okay, Warehouse T. Oh, so maybe it's a T. Yep. Oh, yeah, so it's probably a T. Yep. For sure. All right, let's see here. Warehouse T floor 4. Let's see who's in the chat here. Who could help me out? Anybody willing to track some names? I don't know if my man Richie Z. You still in the house, Richie Z? Jeffrey Wax probably busy. I need someone I could trust. Yeah, if you see a Warehouse K, because Warehouse Ks are still coming out right now. If you see a Warehouse K on the back of that label, grab it. They are so damn good for the price. So Warehouse K coming in hot. All right, let's add K to the alphabet soup. There we go. All right, now I'm going to take a little break here because I need a little bit of a break. Because if I know somebody requested it, so I'll play it. Because if I keep going through these that fast, this is what will happen to me. I fell. Yeah, I know you guys love it. I know you love it. Yes. Executive producer Todd. Todd, thank you so much. Todd, he said he can do names. All right, so this is what we're going to do, guys. So Rob D, he already said he's going to throw Camp Nelson F into the mix. So we're gonna give away. We're going to give away Rob D's Camp Nelson F. I have a bottle here that I want to give away as well. This is a Tyrone K. 8 years old, brand new bottle. I'm going to put this one up, and I'm also going to put up one of my Kentucky Spirits. So I'll have 3 bottles. We'll do a quick giveaway tonight. So I'll do a Russell's. I'll do the K because we just tasted it. I'll throw that in the mix. And then I'll do a Kentucky Spirit here tonight. So we'll give away 3 bottles. You guys throw in a super chat, and you are in the mix. Todd, executive producer, will be tracking the name. So Here we go. Opening her up. Let's do this shit. Yeah, Rob D. The fact that Rob D is tracking names. Thank you so much. Or actually donating a Camp Nelson F. I wish I could actually win that bottle myself. Seriously. Give it to me. So, yeah. 96 Milliman says, what Redwood Empire bottle was that in the ECB vid? What Redwood I don't know. I got to see. So from it's fun to watch my ass fall again. So if you're looking from right to left, that the first Redwood Empire bottle with the tan label, that was the original labels that they released before they changed to the tree themes. So I mean, it's not anything that's incredibly different or unique. It's just that was the original label. Watching my ass fall the whole freaking night. Jesus Christmas. Oh my gosh, here comes all the super chats. There you go. Love what you do, Jason. Appreciate it for some turkey. Gobble gobble. Love it, guys. Thank you so much. Lily wants a bottle, says EJ. I just Tyrone K. Oh, need to replace it. Oh, he just bottle killed his, says Judd Porter. Awesome. Go Turkey, says Raging Irishman. I'm in. Pick me. Perfect. So while you guys are getting your entries in, let's set up the next couple barrels here. So what we're going to do is, let's see, JK. And we're up to the barrel I've never tried. All right, you ready for this one? Here we go. This is Tyrone M. That's right. This is an M. 8-year-old M barrel. There it is. I have never tried an M. I'm going to try it right now. Break her down. Rarebird 101. Any experience? I would imagine you have some experience with the M warehouses. Anything you think I should expect from this rick house? Opening this live here, guys. Here we go. What the hell? Opening her up. Thanks, Jay's a first-time live stream viewer here. What's up, Austin? Nice to see you, man. Thanks for hanging out, watching. Appreciate it. Turkey, gobble gobble, pick me. Kenneth Rathburn says M for mine. Mine. All right, well, we'll see, Kenneth. All right. America. M for America. That's right. Let's get this one going. I have never tried an M before, so I'm excited to try this one here. Go down, Master Drum. Down goes Frazier. Down goes Frazier. Have you tried the 2 new Redwood Empire Foggy Burl and Devil's Tower yet? What are your thoughts? CJ Miller, I'm on the hunt for those. We don't get those here in Ohio very quickly, so I'm really trying to get those bottles here. So, but I do want it because one of those is an American single malt, and American single malt, like I said, is just going to keep growing and growing and growing. I really want to see where it goes. And I'm trying to find one of those. Yeah. So 2016 to 2017 M were amazing. The recent ones are a different profile, still great. Pick 2 last year. All right, Rarebird. Here we go. Turkey. Thank you so much, Justin Mills. Come on, Big Money. Stop. They had them online today. I got busy and the high rise sold out. Not sure about the single malt. I might have to go on the internet and see the old interwebs and see if the single malt's still available. Joe Weininger, thanks so much, man. All right. What do we got for Warehouse M? So on this one, I get orange and apple all day long. But like a blood orange. It's a very distinct type of orange note here on this one. But I do get apple. I get that kind of that caramel apple note that we were getting in, I think it was, I want to say Tyrone. Which one was it? Oh, it was the It was the Gobble Eye. I was getting the apple in it. Getting it here too. Cheers. That last Kentucky Spirit pick was dude. That Tyrone T pick was unbelievably good. Man, it does. Somebody in the chat said the last M they had was very balanced. I feel like I'm getting that. Let's give it a try here. I think balance is actually a good word. I get sweet, I get savory, I get spice, I get oak, a little bit of everything in between. Kind of working its way through. Nothing very. I think it actually leans a little bit more fruit forward to me than anything. I feel like I'm getting like apple, maybe even like a pear type note here. Rarebird says, yeah, recent M's are a lot of bright fruit. Bright fruit, I almost get 4 roses. That's a good call out. I could see that. Dan C, I keep learning and enjoying. Thanks so much, man. Glad you're learning. If I could keep, spreading the info. I love it, guys. So real quick, guys, what you're going to start seeing from me here late, in the next upcoming videos. Got a really fun video uploading tomorrow, which I did in collaboration with Chad from It's Bourbon Night. So you guys will see that tomorrow. I'm not going to spoil the what we did, but it was pretty fun. So you guys will see that tomorrow on tomorrow's video. But what I'm going to be doing is kind of going back to some of the whiskeys that I reviewed in the past that I haven't revisited in quite a while, that a lot of them are still available on the shelf. What I want to do is kind of pull out those bottles and maybe review it against some of the newer versions. Just kind of do I'm calling it the remash. So basically I'm kind of going back and re-reviewing some of the ones that I've reviewed in the past, because I think more and more today people want to hear more about, and you guys tell me, more about the stuff that's available on the shelf. I feel like there's a lot of stuff on the shelf that I haven't even reviewed yet that are just sitting collecting dust because people want all the LEs, which I get. So a lot of the new content that you'll see from me will be around, more available stuff, at least available to me in Ohio. I'm not sure it's going to be available to you, but I'll try to kind of pull some different bottles that are a little bit more available for everyone. Sarah had COVID, unfortunately. She couldn't make the trip, but Chad was here and we did a little bit. So Chad already posted a video on his channel when we had done a cool little chat about, chasing bourbon and being a bourbon reviewer today versus a few years ago. But he had posed an idea to do, well, you'll see it tomorrow. I don't want to spoil it. It's a little bit of a longer video because we kind of go through some different samples, but you'll see that one tomorrow. Yeah, so kind of what's on the shelf Wednesday, no content available, but kind of like a rewind of it, like some of the ones that I've done in the past. The first one that you will see is the new Russell's Reserve single barrel versus the new Wild Turkey. So you'll see the new Wild Turkey rare breed, I should say. So you'll see this versus this in an upcoming video. So one of my favorite videos I ever did was the differences between Wild Turkey rare breed and Russell's single barrel. And I'm going to kind of bring this back and do it again with kind of the newest batches of it, but also kind of revisit some other bottles that I haven't talked about a lot that just sits on shelves. So that's what you'll kind of see as far as content wise. I think I want to get into 1920 and from Old Forester, how much that has changed, and just some other cool bottles. So you'll see some fun stuff. So what's the laser code on those Wild Turkey and rare breed bottles? I don't know. I don't want to look at rare breed. I don't want to look at laser codes anymore. I'm done. Yeah, CJ, it should be pretty fun. So This isn't so much a discussion, CJ, as it is kind of a challenge. It was a lot of fun to do it. So you'll see what it is. I'm not going to spoil it. Proceeds to spoil it. I didn't say anything. I didn't say anything about it. Yeah, so M, I would say, I think M is balanced. However, I do think it leans a little bit more fruit forward. So if this is kind of the flavor profile that comes out of M's, again, David had mentioned that there was a lot of differences in between M's where he's had some that are flat versus some that are a little bit more fruit forward. I don't know, this could be one of those wild card barrels where you just, not wild card warehouses, I should say, where you just, not sure what you're going to get. So, all right, M. My first M. Let's throw M in the alphabet soup. There we go. All right, next one up here. Let's go into, let's see, M. That brings us to letter Q. Oh, I'm excited for Q. I'm excited for Q. People have been talking about Q for a long time on how good the Qs are. I've had Qs before, but I haven't had this bottle yet. So, see how it is. America, Turkey, gobble gobble, letter Q. Here we go. A touch of 101 to the mix. We could do that. A little 101 action on there. Jason's going to have Russell Reserve 10 at 110 proof when tonight is over. Yeah, no. All right, let's try a little Q here. So, yeah, interestingly enough, so here's something as far as the discussion goes. I think I'm a turkey beginner still, but the basic Russell's 10 was my gateway. Nostalgia, if nothing else, makes it one of my favorites. Always in my whiskey room, says Johnny Brennan. And that's an interesting comment, Johnny, because I was just about to talk about Russell's Reserve 10 year and how I feel like Russell's Reserve 10 year has lost something. Not sure what it is. It's hard to kind of pinpoint, again, kind of like what's been happening with Old Forester 1920, where I feel like it's lost that chocolate cherry vibe. It's gone kind of into this more bananas Foster type of vibe to it. It still holds the proof to it. Russell's 10 to me had this nostalgic, like funky wild turkey oak, vibe to it. And I feel like it's lost that. It's gotten a little bit flatter. There's at least the latest one that I've had absolutely no finish on it. And I feel like Russell's 10 year did have a finish to it. So you guys let me know in the chat, sound off. Have you tried a later version of Russell's 10 year? Is it too low proof for you guys? I'm just curious what the consensus says. Tin again says it's thin. I would totally agree with that. It's definitely chin. Hey, what's up, JG? Thanks so much, man. M&J Army Rocks says Henry D. Dude, we got some hitter picks coming out soon. We just picked an 11-year, 6 or 7 month old rye whiskey last night. Oh my God. Flatter is a great word for it, says Don. Oh, Don, what's going on, man? Nice to see you, Don. Don, you calling Don tiny, and he's huge. RR10 is terrible. They just bump it up to 100 proof and have it complete with McKenna. I mean, I can understand people wanting it to bump it up to that. But again, Eagle Rare is 90 proof. People love that bottle. Why should Russell Reserve change? Do you feel Eagle Rare over Russell Reserve 10 year? At this point? 100%. I've backed my old and new Russell Reserve 10. Okay. Is the Russell Reserve rye any good? Yes. I think Russell Reserve, the green label, I think it's probably one of the most underrated ryes on the market, to be honest. I like Russell's 10, but it's lower proof, so I haven't gone back to it. Okay, definitely thin, flatter than it was a few years ago. Dr. BCU, this is kind of where I'm at. For a 10-year, that Russell's Reserve 10-year, I'm sorry, I should say, for a 90 proof 10-year bourbon, I really thought that Russell's 10-year had there was something about it that always had me going back to it. And I feel like whatever that was, it's kind of lost it a little bit, for sure. Shauna Marie D in the house. Master Drum, have to hop off. Oh, thanks, Rob D. I'll contact, just email me later, man. Yeah, PM me for sure. Thanks so much, AC Jones. I appreciate it. Much love from Kentucky, says William. I do prefer Eagle Rare over the Russell's Reserve 10. Russell's Reserve 10 for me just lacking, just not exciting, even at 90 proof. Jason, after all that delicious turkey, eat some asparagus spirits to break down on alcohol, no hangovers. I already had my Z-Biotics. I am good tonight. Definitely feeling fine. Sipping on a 10-year CNB, and it's pretty damn enjoyable. Love that turkey funkaliciousness. Dude, those Camp Nelsons, they do it for sure. Better check the laser code on your Russell's Reserve 10. I'm a turkey guy, but Eagle Rare 10 over Russell's Reserve 10, says John Daly. You know, at this point right now, I might have to agree with you. I might have to agree with you there. All right, this is the Q. Here we go, guys. Q now. We're getting into it. I only have a couple bottles left, but here's the Q. Oh, man. This is definitely different. This to me is an absolute cherry bomb, which is now cherry is a note you generally come across with Wild Turkey and Russell's Reserve, but generally the older ones, if you've had Russell's 13, if you've had any of the Decades, the Master's Keeps, Wild Turkey 17-year bottle and bond, straight up tastes like medicinal cherry Robitussin, especially as it gets down in the bottle. There's some heavy cherry here, which I kind of dig. Oh no, I'm feeling fine, guys. Everybody always asks me like, "Oh, how are you drinking all these whiskeys and, kind of feeling okay?" I drink a shit ton of water before my live streams. I also make sure I eat, a good sized dinner before my live streams, so I'm always, I don't ever want to get to a point where I'm, incoherent. To me that's kind of embarrassing. I think that's happened to me maybe once or twice doing a live stream, and I just kind of figured out I need to drink way more water before my live streams, and I need to probably eat a bigger meal. So that's kind of my routine every Wednesday before I go live. So no worries. Old Forester 1924. So anybody in the chat, yeah, I do not eat a whole pan of lasagna. So does anybody here, has anyone kind of gotten the 1924 from Old Forester recently? Tried it? I'm curious to know your thoughts if you guys have gotten it. So many mixed reviews about it. People love it. People think it's overpriced. People not so crazy about it. People are kind of lukewarm on it. Let me know in the chat. I really want to kind of know what I want to get my finger on the pulse of Old Forester 1924. What do you guys think? For me, I thought it had, so here was my consensus, even going back to it. I had another pour of it the other day. Liked it. Loved the fruit forwardness of it. Loved the depth of flavor to it. But the lack of finish kills it for me. It's got no finish to me at all. It just, you get a little bit of spice, but then it dies. And I feel like the first one or two pours that you get of 1924 are the best. But then when you just keep sipping it, once your palate gets used to it, it falls off a cliff really, really fast. Let me know, guys. I'm curious here. Passed on the 1924. 1792 has some cherry in the palate very quickly, then gone. Willow gnocchi. Yeah, I could see that. I feel like 1792 small batch for me has a strawberry note to it that I really like. Russell's 10-year has the price point you drink every day if you want. You can mix it. It's always there, a bit more complex. I could agree with that. 1924 is good but not exciting, but also not forgettable. That's a really good description, 96 Millie Man. I feel like it's good. It doesn't like excite me to the point where I want to like buy more of it. But at the same time, it's more interesting than most Old Forester products. It's this really weird middle ground that it has. Really, really does. Aaron says pass on it. Zero FOMO on that bottle. Okay. Damian Williams, I'll buy 1924 MSRP when I see it. That's where I'm at, Damian. If I see it at MSRP, I'll buy it, but I'm not overpaying for it. I like it, but the acetone, yeah, sorry, man. I've been saying acetone on that bottle. Most ultra-aged Old Foresters have an acetone note. There's no way around it. Let's see. It came and went. I wasn't hunting. Definitely lukewarm. The price was just too high for me. Might pick up a bottle of 1924 in Memphis. I'm calling it first. There's no micro batch laser coat issue with 1924, says Henry Turner. I love it. For that price, I expected more. Yep, love the upfront on 1924. Age comes through and nice and then disappears. Nick, that is the perfect description for what 1924 is. Absolutely. But, I mean, maybe that's not what they go. Like, you guys have to realize what we like and what distillers are going for when they're either creating spirits or creating blends or batches. There could be a specific flavor profile or a specific audience they're speaking to. Maybe 1924 wasn't meant to be something with a long finish. Maybe they wanted it to be really smooth and easy for people that like that type of spirit. I mean, honestly, guys, I've been saying it for the last 6 months. All the new drinkers that are coming into the, to the fray here are all looking for sweeter bourbon, stuff that doesn't burn, stuff that does finish easy and that is very smooth. And I think that 1924 bottle absolutely does that. It's got all the flavor in the world on the front of the palate, and it just finishes really, really sweet and easy. And maybe that's what they were going for. Now, whatever your palate is like, you're either going to like it, dislike it, or be lukewarm on it. For me, I'm kind of lukewarm on it. I love the front of the palate so much, but the fact that it dies off so quick keeps me from buying a bottle that's overpriced. But I also think that's a part of the whiskey business that not many people really pay attention to. Like, who's it made for? I guarantee when people go into a lab or distillers are blending different bottles, there's probably a notion of who are we targeting. Everything's a target. It's marketing. I'm in marketing, so I know like what this looks like. You can't have a product without a target. And if they're targeting a specific whiskey for a specific audience, maybe 1924 Old Forester, maybe they don't care that the whiskey enthusiasts don't like it. Maybe they want it to be more enjoyed by the new drinkers, kind of building up that want and that FOMO for it. It's an interesting, kind of paradigm that, when you look at it from the outside and you kind of take out your own personal preferences out of the fray and you look at what that bottle is, maybe that's what it is. Maybe it's all about just blending it just right so these newer drinkers that are trying to get into whiskey will enjoy it more than any other Old Forester product that they have. It's worth thinking about, right? What do you guys think? Keith Savannah says, shut up. I want hazmat, damn it. More Coy Hill and 13th Colony. Oh, man. All right. Last pour of letter Q here. Dude, this is so good. Letter Q has a Rick Housey funkiness to it that I think is making it stand out. All right, I'm going to save my favorite picks of the night here to the end, but I'm going to tell you right now, Q's up there. Q is up there. Yeah, at least it's not Amburano, for God's sake. Thank you so much, Justin Jenkins. Appreciate that. All right, Q. All right, we have two more, guys. We have letter S. This is a pick that I did with OHLQ as well. And this at the time was the first time I've ever had anything from Warehouse S. Now, Warehouse S, I've had 3 different barrels from Warehouse S, and they were really, really fruit forward. And that's why I love them so much. That's why I like this one. High proof for the sake of high proof is silly, to be honest. Yep, I agree. 100% marketing. I have some buddies getting into whiskey, and they want lower proof and sweeter. Not interested in anything else. Yeah, I mean, Terrence McDermott, this is the drinker. You know, this is the new drinker getting into bourbon and whiskey these days. Not everybody wants those high proof monsters. When you're picking your Russell's barrels, you get to try to cast strength. What's the highest proof turkey you've had? Guesstimate if they didn't tell you. Probably a little over 120 proof. They don't really get much higher than that, to be honest, Andrew. They're usually right at 120. If you're lucky, you'll get one at 120. But they're usually a tick lower. But yeah, that's about it. Jason, when do we get another OHL Key Russell's pick? I missed the last one because I don't live in Columbus. I don't know. Hopefully, I get invited this year. We usually do them, towards Father's Day. So I'm hoping we do them soon. I should, maybe send a message, see if they'll let me come on the next batch. So, hey, dude, how do you find all these bottles? Did they send them to you? No, Smoke Steve. Everybody assumes that everyone sends me bottles. And I will say this. I do get lucky that some distillers do send me bottles, but it's normally the smaller distillers. Guys, completely transparent. Like Hard Truth, have a really good relationship with them. They'll send me bottles. Michter's sends me bottles of stuff. They do not send me like the Michter's 20-year or 25-year celebrate. Like, they don't send those out. But, they'll send me the, Michter's 10-year single barrels, the toasteds. I get those in the mail. I don't get anything ever from Buffalo Trace. I don't get anything ever from Jim Beam. I don't get anything ever from Heaven Hill. I don't get anything from Wild Turkey. I normally get bottles and samples from the smaller distillers that are looking just to get their name out there, which is understandable. I mean, it's free marketing for them. So for me, I think I've just been blessed to not only do this channel and build up a viewership, but to have, great people in the community that help me get bottles. So it's really what it is. I'm still paying for my own bottles. If anyone that's watching in Ohio has, you guys have seen me online. It's not like I go in and get special treatment. I think people think that I do, but I don't. You can't do that in Ohio. I wait online just like everyone else if I want to get a bottle. So there's no, weird shit going on. There's no like stuff that people are sending me. It's, I do get bottles sent to me, but it's normally from the smaller distillers, like I mentioned. Or even NDPs. So that's really where they mostly come from. So there you go. Hey, JC, what's your favorite Master's Keep? Is Decades up there? Says Matthew M. Decades is definitely up there for sure. Jason, what the barrel number on that? I'm curious if I have that barrel bottle. On the S, it is barrel number 20-090. I think that's a 7. It's either a 7 or a 1. Not really sure. I think no, it's a 7. I think it's a 7. 20-0907. Lily says hit the like. Blue Run. Yeah, no Blue Run. You did that great video for Heaven Hill. Can't believe they don't send you anything. Yeah, and that's the thing. I did the video for them and I said, can I get on the sample list? And they said, we don't do that. I'm like, I know like 4 or 5 channels that get samples from Heaven Hill. What the hell? I don't get anything from them. So all the Elijah Craig barrel proof reviews I do, larcenies, I mean, that's me going out and trying to curate those bottles. It's not them sending me anything, to be honest. The one relationship I do have a good relationship with is Brown Foreman. I get great samples from Jack Daniels, Old Forester. However, they haven't sent me a birthday bourbon in a while because I usually shit on birthday bourbon. So I don't think you'll see a birthday bourbon review from me for the foreseeable future unless I buy one myself at secondary prices. But I won't do it because the last several birthday bourbons I think have been terrible. Not terrible, but just not worth all the hype. So. Jason, why are you waiting online versus inline? Everybody, I'm sure, wants to know, bro. Why is that? Is that like an East Coast thing where I should be saying inline and not online? I've always said I'm waiting online, but I guess because of this technology forward space we're in, it says online. I don't know. So yeah, my favorite Master's Key. That's a good question. You know what? A sneaky one that nobody talks about that I really loved was Revival. The sherry finished one was unbelievably good. I think the 17-year Ball and Bond was up there for me as well. However, it just gets to a point where once you get down half the bottle, it gets real medicinal. I don't think people like that. But that, man, Unforgotten, I was a big fan of. But I think Decades might be my sneaky favorite. But don't sleep on Revival. Revival was so good. Yep. You're online. Is that a skating reference? Generations was just a bottle there to no master. Yeah, Generations wasn't a Master's Keep. And Generations was a bottle I had a really weird relationship with last year. So. Yeah. Super fruity, super sweet. This is also one of those candy sweet barrels, very much like D that we had earlier. So very much in that line, but not so much sugar sweet, but fruit sweet. So I think that's where the S's go. Yeah. Oh my God, so many. I think I've done too much with all these Rick Houses. We have one more left before we close out the night and give out some bottles here. And that is going to be the look at Alphabet Soup, guys. Look at that. Alphabet Soup. It's looking good. On the line. You gotta go on the line. And this is going to be the Kentucky Spirit. Final bottle of the night, guys. This is Tyrone Tea. It's the first time we ever had to try a Tyrone Tea. And this bottle ended up being about 10 years old. And when we released this bottle, now this was a pick we did with the Master Journey Whiskey Club. And when we picked this bottle, we were absolutely blown away at how crushable. So we tried this at cast strength, and there was a very, very heavy alcohol scent and flavor to it. We said, we love the finish of it. We love the front flavors, but it just has like this really heavy ethanol note. Once we added some water to it, completely died. It got really sweet. I'm like, this is our Kentucky Spirit. And here it is. One of the oldest picks that I've been able to do at Wild Turkey, a Tyrone Tea. Let's look at the map real quick because I don't even remember where Tyrone Tea is. So we look at the map here. That's the first one. Here we go. So Tyrone Tea, as you can see, is really set back in the middle of nowhere out there. And, when you're looking at where the actual distillery is, and then you look all the way where Tyrone Tea is, I mean, it's pretty far out there. So Tyrone Tea ends up being one of those rick houses we had never tasted before. But not only that, one of those rick houses that we just really didn't expect. And this is one of the most crushable, delicious. This is you talk about vanilla extract, that's what this is. Now, again, Tyrone Tea gets into these different flavors where you get some sweet flavors as well. You get some of the, not sweet flavors, but oak flavors, especially with the age of this one. But this is an absolute vanilla bomb. If you love cream soda, that's what this Tyrone Tea does. Delicious stuff. Oh, my God. Oh, yeah. Fight Milk was so delicious. What did he think of the K bottles? I missed this, as Daniel Feg. K is one of my favorite. I think tonight what we can go by, as far as my favorites, I would put K up there. I would put Q up there. That Q was delicious. That Q was really, really good. The The McBrayer B. I've always loved the McBrayer just because they're so different when it comes to the flavor profiles. It's really sweet, very fruit forward. I would put the McBrayer out there. What else are my favorite here? Not that one. Oh yeah, the D. So DKQ. So DKQ. Again, Camp Nelson F is always going to be a favorite for me, but DKQ and Camp Nelson E are probably my 4 favorite tonight. That M barrel was really good, but that Q was stupid good. So those are probably my favorite barrels. Tonight. Yeah, mostly. No, actually, no, Jeremy Kemp. You will see Kentucky Spirit barrels that have Tyrone, and they also have the CN designation for Camp Nelson. So you'll see them out there. Just depends. But if you see a Camp Nelson E or F, just buy that shit immediately. It's going to be a really good barrel for sure. As far as Tyrone goes, A is more classic turkey, but the Ks are hitting right now. But KQ, M, I mean, I think some of the Bs you could put up there too, but D, if you've never tasted a D before, I can't even say it with straight face. If you've never tasted a D before, you know, get a D. All right, guys, it is giveaway time. I'm going to add this little last part to the alphabet soup, and we are ready to go. Let's finish it out. Mr. Todd Ritter, the executive producer, Fifth Quarter Tailgate, love the Wild Turkey Funk. How many people do we got? Let's see. Only B, is that Tyrone or CN? Only B, is that Tyrone? There could be either one. There's a Camp Nelson Bs that are out there that are really, really good, and there's Tyrone Bs that are out there that are really, really good. I think the Camp Nelson Bs are more unique. So 94 entries. All right, perfect. Todd, since you were kind enough to do the letter to track all the giveaways, let's do the first giveaway, which is Rob D's Camp Nelson F bottle that he's given away. Let's go with Todd. Let's go with number. Let's go with number 44, Todd. 44. Who got number 44? Who gets the Camp Nelson F? And we'll go from there here. Camp Nelson F goes to mine says CNE. Have you had that? Yeah, Jake, I've had Camp Nelson E's from Kentucky Spirit and also Russell's, and they're really good. Enjoy, man. Again, I mean, here's the map. I mean, Camp Nelson E is, I mean, it's down there right where F is, and E and F are known to have some legendary barrels. Like I said, if you guys see a Camp Nelson E or Camp Nelson F, even the Camp Nelson Bs, those are the 3 I think that are pretty special out of Camp Nelson. So those are the ones you're going to want to grab. Ty Leasy, congrats. You get the Camp Nelson F from Mr. Rob D. Ty Leasy, if you can, email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com, and we will get you your bottle. Next is this beautiful Tyrone K, one of my favorite warehouses that I tried tonight. Let's go with number, why not? Let's go 69. Who do we got for 69? Mr. Todd Ritter. So Russell's K. So Ty Leasy gets that one. This is 69, and that goes to, congrats, Ty Leasy. Is he in the house, Ty Leasy? Oh, there he is. Ty Leasy is here. Ty Leasy, just again, shoot me an email at themashanddrum@gmail.com, and we will figure it out. Kirk Cockrell gets the Tyrone K. Kirk Cockrell, congratulations. Cockrell. Kirk, awesome, man. You get Is it coincidence that I did the number 69 and his last name is Cockrell? That's amazing. Just saying. Sorry. That's pretty amazing. Oh my God. Congratulations, Kirk. You get the Tyrone K. There you go. And last but not least is the Kentucky Spirit. Todd, let's go a low number here. Let's go with number, my birthday. Let's go with number 9. Who do we got at number 9, Todd? Let's see. Is Kirk here? Is Kirk? I'm not sure if Kirk here. Kirk gets the D. That's right. Congrats, Kirk. Again, all the winners, email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com. Who is number 9? Mr. Todd Ritter. And they are going to get the Kentucky Spirit. Michael S. Congratulations, man. Michael S. gets the Kentucky Spirit. All right, Michael. Michael has been a pretty avid viewer for a long time. Dude, thanks so much. And congratulations, Michael. Just email me at themashanddrum@gmail.com or shoot me a message on Patreon. Before we sign off tonight, guys, let's try the alphabet soup. And this has been brewing all night. There it is. Nice dark color. Let's see what we got here. The nose is promising. I'll tell you that, guys. Oh, man. So interesting. This is all vanilla and grape. That's really all I'm getting on the nose right now. Definitely some oak, maybe a little bit of apple, but very, very heavy vanilla and grape, like grapiness to it. I think that Camp Nelson, I'm sorry, not Camp Nelson. I think the McBrayer, even though I didn't pour a lot of it in it, just kind of took over. That's where I feel like all that grapiness is coming from. But there were a lot of fruit-forward barrels in this batch, too. Let's see here. You know what? It's not bad. It's not great either. I feel like there's just too many profiles maybe fighting one another. I do get that grapiness. I get the oak funk to it. There's a wild turkey funk vibe going on too. One more sip of this before we sign off, guys. It's weird. It's interesting. All those different barrels together, and it actually turned into kind of a vanilla bomb, which is interesting. Like vanilla extract to like the tea. So, man, what else can I say, guys, tonight? Thank you so much for hanging out here on the Mash and Drum. Had about 500 people watching most of the night, 450 to 500. Can't say thanks enough to everyone that's hung out tonight, supported me, and watched me drink all these Russell's Reserve single barrels. This was a lot of fun. I will be here live next week as soon as I get, kind of a more of a distinct date on the finals for Glenaganon. We will get into that, the fundraiser for St. Jude and National Children's Hospital, Nationwide Children's Hospital, I should say. I will let you guys all know what's going on with that. But the bottles and the donations are getting just incredible. So be on the lookout for that. And guys, yeah, love you. Subscribe, like. As I always say, it's not about the whiskey. It's the people you share it with. I'll see you next week right here on the Mash and Drum. Cheers, guys. Thanks to all of you. And congrats to all the winners. Cheers, guys.